Madge, you good to go? Madge, have you ever seen anything like that?
No, never. Never experienced obviously a team going through what they did, but obviously very super proud of them players. We've talked about playing a long game, as I keep talking about, and it was definitely a long game, that one, and they believed to the end. And they worked hard for each other. There was a lot of players off their feet, and through various circumstances, but just to see them fight the way they did, is something there that we talk about it. So it's nice to see that they're doing it because they're living it.
How's your heart rate right now, Madge?
It's still probably going. But yeah, look, we obviously got to celebrate and recognise what they just did, but also too the job in front of us. So we'll get back together again now, and they're definitely to see the change room of your players smiling like that and happy because they went through it. They're the ones that had to fight right through everything, and there were many a times where it was probably nearly gone, but they found a way. So definitely something there that we'll talk about. It's the spirit of what the boys have been creating.
What were your emotions when they look like they scored the try? It's disallowed, and then a minute later, Ben Hunt, the guy's been waiting for this opportunity, nails this moment.
Yeah, couldn't have no better bloke. You go through a lot of, as a player in your career, and he's obviously been through plenty, and to see him there standing at the end with obviously the arms up, and then his players being around him, they're special moments. You've got to share those together. But Hunty knows that what he's come here for. He's come back to the club to be able to create obviously what's ahead. So it's nice to see your players going through that, but also to him recognising the first thing he sort of said is that's the next step to where we want to get to. So big folks around that. I said well done to Paddy too. His leadership, it takes leaders to be able to steer yourself through those moments. And there's conversations on the field and being able to build the belief, and obviously like Paddy and all the boys out there, the way they're creating things, we've just got to keep growing.
What about Reece? I know there was a drama with the headbutt. How did you see that, Madge? What were your thoughts?
I'd have to have a look at it. They were at each other a little bit, and there was probably more just conversation. So we'll have a look at that down the track.
Are you going to swearing on the charge sheet?
No, I've got to have a look at it. So there's emotion out there, and I think they both were sent for a reason. So you move on.
To have two of your players in bin, though, is it discipline sort of something that you're going to have to work on going
Well,
forward?
it's finals time. It's every moment's counting, and to be able to, I know, Paddy, he's sort of got hit on the chest there, and people adjudicate things, but at the end of the day, it's a finals game. It's fast, it's quick, and you play on. So we're able to handle ourselves through that period of time. We'll move on.
What were your emotions like when you're sitting in the sim bin, you see Canberra go 16 points up, and imagine you feel kind of helpless when you're sitting off the field there?
Yeah, you do. Obviously, there's actually no TV or anything in the change room, so could kind of only go off the feel of the crowd. But obviously I joined Walsh in there, and the conversations were pretty clear. It was just, let's get back out and let's have a crack at this, and it was pretty clear.
Is there an element of concern for you now though, mate? Like obviously a prelim final in 2 weeks' time after being sim bin for that?
Yeah, obviously going to the sim bin is not ideal, but to be honest, I thought I had a head clash with him. He's got a tough head, and I felt my jaw bit my lip, and but I haven't seen the angle of it, to be honest. But like Madge said, we'll just have to wait and see. But he's got a tough head.
Madge, how's Payne?
He's good. He's a machine. We all love having him around us. But he goes through what he does, and he gets himself out on the field. He's a big part of obviously what we do, and we love having him out there, and I know the players do. So he just keeps battling along and getting himself right.
What about Kura?
He's got a bit of a potentially depressed cheekbone there, so we have to get that scan and have a look at it.
Match, the way Reece handled that whole, coming off, it was back and forth with the crowd, and then he came out and put the team on his back and set them up, scored tries. How does he do that?
Well, I'm probably have to ask him, but his maturity and what I've seen over the last 4 or 5 months, I think he's been working towards that, and he knows that. He's there's a lot of talk around Reece, but he knows what he's capable of, and the boys get behind him and back him. That belief within the group allows him to go and do his part of the team. The boys set up the moments for him to be able to do what he does. So it was pretty special.
Imagine it's hard to change a winning team after a day like this, but realistically, in 2 weeks' time, how many of those injured guys are you expecting to have back for the prelim?
I'll find out on Monday. I'll just look at the game and look at how we're moving and how we're doing things. You know, the boys are doing a good job, so it's a nice place to be, I guess, as a coach, to have decisions, and I'll make them moving forward.
Will Renault be fit for week 3?
I don't know, Pete. Look, he's travelling well. You know, and you've got to then adjudicate how much players have been playing and the momentum. But Renault at the moment, he's tracking in the right direction.
You alluded to it before, Pat, but just what was Reece like when he was in the sheds in that time with you, right? Because if you watch him walk off the ground and he's flipping the birds to the crowd, like you think that's a guy who's manic almost, right? Like how was he in the sheds between that and when he came out and did?
No, it was good, to be honest. Conversation was pretty clear between myself and him. You know, he was just kind of saying, let's go after this game, we're going to get another shot. And we knew there was probably 15 minutes left that if we both got back on the field, So, yeah, we knew that we had to come in and play our role because, to be honest, we left our boys out there with 11 men fighting hard. So he's clear, he backed himself, and I think he can do what he can do on the back of his teammates, and I think he'll say that.
Obviously, the job isn't near done yet, but have you been able to reflect at all on how far you've come and to be in this position when you had people earlier in the year giving you guys a bit of a stick?
I don't really reflect back. I mean, with the players, we looked at where we wanted to get to and what we want to achieve. So, you know, this is a path of obviously what we've spoken about. So that's our focus moving forward in what we do. So it's a journey. You know, the players have learned a lot. They've learned a different style, I guess, in the way that we can play. You know, and we've come from behind in games like we did tonight. So it's a reflection of what we've been able to go through as a team. So that's the sort of the habits that they're building, you know, amongst what we're trying to build here at the Broncos.
How you and Cregan, do you feel a win like that, does that give you the confidence you can go all the way?
Yeah, I think we're just taking it week by week, to be honest, mate. You know, we know the foundation of our game and what we build it on, and it's, you know, playing our brand of footy and also competing and supporting your mates. So there's plenty of great teams in this competition, mate, and we just played a really good team there. So week by week's kind of our focus, and it's about getting the boys healthy and putting ourselves in a position to be able to perform at a prelim at home.
Madge, have you ever seen a player sort of get singed in for getting headbutted?
I don't know whether it's headbutt. Obviously, you know, it came together, so we'll have a look at that moving forward.